All right, some cool stuff happened today. Sorry, I'm checking my teeth. Um, I got to use a Miele vacuum cleaner. I don't know if you guys have ever used a Miele vacuum cleaner, but if you think Dyson rocks, Miele is clean my whole house. I got 3 floors. Greatest thing ever. Thank you, Megan, for letting me borrow the Miele. I'm probably going to buy one, no matter the cost. Thank you. Um, but today is an important day, or a funny day. I'm going to talk about. I'm on day 20 of my food journey. I'm trying to beat a sugar addiction, a food addiction. I was able to overcome quite a few other addictions, but right now I'm working on a food addiction. It's not about weight loss. It's not about a body image. It's about a feeling and the control that this food has over me. So in the past, I used to eat tons of food. It was probably emotional eating. I don't know. I'm not going to go through all that. But I've been stuck on eating sugar, fruits, dates. I don't eat candy bars and that kind of sugar, but I will binge out on dates daily. I will overdo it with the peanuts. I will overdo it with peanut butter. I will overdo it with bananas, pears, and so on, dipped in peanut butter. That is my ultimate weakness. And I've spoke about this in other posts, but right now, I just want to say I'm on day 20 right now of this journey. It took me almost 17 days of back and forth to overcome this addiction. And I haven't beat it by any means, but it's been a brutal 17 days. I'm not going to lie. I work out, I feel good, but I'm not getting all the results I want, and I'm staying within the calorie range and trying to follow all these protocols. But that's not really the issue. It's I want to be able to live life free of, craving those types of foods after the workout at some point or whenever. So every time I would end up going to the grocery store, I couldn't make it past those aisles, or I couldn't leave the store without buying any one or combination of those items. And then if I did buy them, the sick part about it is I would go home and have one or two and be like, oh, I beat it. It's all good. And then 9 o'clock would hit, 10, 11, middle of the night, and I would just find myself back and forth. I'd get up, go eat 2 dates, dip them in peanut butter, eat a bite of the banana, do it again, and repeat that cycle like 50 times until the entire container was done. And as I'm doing it, I know I'm doing it, and I'm like, ooh, this isn't going to end well. Why did I buy this? And guilt tripping myself and shaming myself. And then I'm like, I'm never going to make progress, blah, 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 blah. Then I decided to take a different approach at it. I do a lot of AA work and study AA stuff, and it's really helpful. And I read a lot of books on the 12 steps. So a great book that I found is called The Art of Recovery, or it's called Recovery, the Sacred Art. It breaks down the 12 steps in like a very digestible, easy way to understand it through all different avenues. So it might say like step 1 is just admit that you're powerless. And, it'll tell a story through Buddhism, Christianity, God, a higher power, energy. It tells all different stories, through each step. So it's not a spiritual, I guess it is a spiritual book, but it's not a religious book, and it's not like a cut and dry. And honestly, it's not even about like drug addiction or staying sober. It's about any type of addiction. And then the root of all of it, the main cause is control, but that's a whole nother topic. I'm not going to go there with this. But I've used this book to help me overcome this addiction, and it's taken 17 days. Every time I go on one of these binges, it's brutal. I'll eat the date, peanut butter, banana, and then by the time I'm halfway through, I'm like, whatever. I might as well eat the whole thing at this point. And then I kind of just like black out, eat it all, make a mess on the counter. And then when I wake up in the morning, I come down and I look and I'm like, my God, what happened here? And there's like peanut butter everywhere, the container. It's like I was like drunk eating, and I'm not. And it's crazy that feeling. And like in the middle of the night, it would wake me up. I would go downstairs and just while out on the food and just like binge on it, eat like 14 of them, half the thing of peanut butter, go back to bed, wake up an hour later, go back and do it. And I'm not like consciously thinking about this, just something inside me is just like, like I know it's in the house. I have to eat all of it. I have to eat all of it. And then people will be like, well, why do you buy it in the first place? Like, I don't know. Why do I buy it in the first place? It is really difficult for me to walk out of that grocery store and not buy it. Like, I do my best to run out of the store, but I'm like, whatever, I'll just go get a little bit. I can control it today. Same thing like a drug addict, like, oh, why don't you just stop drinking? Why don't you just not buy pot? Why don't you just not buy, whatever drugs? Why don't you just not go to the liquor store? Why don't you not watch, PMO today? Why don't you not lust after women? Why don't you see where I'm going with this? Why don't you, it's an addiction. I don't know. I'm powerless to it is what I'm getting at. And this has such a grip on me, and I need to free myself from it as I freed myself from other addictions. The big one for me all my life has been food, and I've never really realized it, going all the way up to 255 pounds and struggling with that, thinking it's emotional, this, that, and the other thing. I don't know, but all I know is that I'm powerless to this one. I was powerless to marijuana. I was powerless to lust. I was powerless to gambling. Pretty much, there's a ton of them, and I'll get into those later, but, I was able to overcome a lot of them. And I feel good, and take it one day at a time, and just make better choices. So I'm trying to implement that with the food, but the food has been the hardest, and it's still here. Like all those other ones are gone, and you figured those would go last. And why food? And food wouldn't be an addiction, and you look healthy, and why would that be something? And I'm a male, so like I don't know if it's not anorexic, bulimic. Somebody called it something orthorexia, where it was like the need for eating like perfect foods or always having pure and the best food or something, and I'm kind of, obsessed with it, but for a reason, because I'm seeing results, I'm healing my body, and it's helped clear my mind and heal me from other things. So I'm a big advocate, and I'm very against big pharma. I'm a chiropractor, so I'm watching patients come in with these wild like body types. I'm feeling the inflammation, and I'm noticing like the main thing is like the gluten, the sugar, and the foods they're eating, and where they're getting their information from is crazy, like from these influencers on the internet, promoting carnivore diets, promoting this, promoting that, and people are trying all these things because they are desperate for answers. The doctors aren't giving answers, they're giving meds and killing people. These influencers don't know anything. They're getting paid, and they look a certain type of way. You got guys with their shirts off on a meat board talking about the carnivore diet healed all my cancers and illness. Like, come on. And then you can't even afford to eat all that food, and eating, 1 pound of meat every meal and ground beef is not that good. You know what I mean? And now there's something called yin food and yang food, masculine and feminine energy. I'm not even going to go there right now with all that. I'll talk about that in another post, but you got to eat it balanced. Like I'm a big advocate for the vegetables and the clean stuff. I still eat meat to a moderation. I don't really do chicken. And the reason I don't eat most of this stuff is because if the government tells me to eat it or Western people eat it, I don't want it. Because when I look at Western people, they look terrible, and they're all confused, their mind, there's no clarity. And then I look at other ethnicities, especially Asian, they look young, healthy, calm, clean body, clean mind, no disease. So I've taken a lot of their recipes, a lot of their vegetables, a lot of their influence from their culture, and I started eating from their grocery stores. No more Whole Foods, paying $10 for produce that's supposed to save my life, which it doesn't. I feel like it's hurting me. I'll do another talk or another video about my experience, because what I've done, I'm doing a 90-day journey, and what I've done is I've eaten only Asian vegetables, and I wrote all the recipes, all the calories, all the macros, all the nutrients in them, and compared them to Western vegetables to show you that these are better nutrition-wise, health-wise, and everything. Because when I find myself eating all the Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, chards, spinach, kales, I'm never satisfied, and I don't believe I'm getting those nutrients. My skin doesn't look cleaner. I don't feel as healthy. And when I eat all these wild Asian vegetables, mushrooms, tofus, and these foods, and I eat a ton of them, my bill is cheaper, first of all. They're fresher, and I feel like overall way better, full, satisfied, healthier, nourished. My organ, everything just seems to be better, like functioning, my skin, hair, everything. But then when I switch over, I find myself binging, overeating, like Brussels sprouts. I ate 700 grams of Brussels sprouts today, and I feel like not satisfied, like I could eat another 12,000 of them. Like I feel like it's just, something's not right with the American Western standard American diet and what they're promoting to us and all the foods they are giving to us, and the ones that are claiming are organic or better or healthy and promoting us to eat are not doing anything beneficial, honestly, for me and my body. That's my experience. I've documented it from start to finish. I'm doing 90 days of it. You can follow along, keep watching these videos, or go to my Substack where I really break it down and I show the recipe and I show the menu and I show the shopping list and I break down the comparison. I forget why I started this video because I went on a rant about all that stuff, but it's really important that you guys do know that. I am a chiropractor, I am a doctor, I really do this, and I'm really seeing patients and dealing with people in real life that have problems, and they're getting better from these recommendations. My prescription is diet, not even diet, it's real honest food plans, and I document all of it and I give it to all the patients and I show them how to eat, where to get it. They even deliver it, and I have shopping lists to make it simple for them, so there's no excuse. Try it for 10 days, see what happens. If it's no good, it's no good, but I'm pretty confident you will switch and change your thought process. The way we're running away from gluten, dairy, and sugar, we should be running away from their vegetables and meat too, because nothing America is giving us is good for us. In case you guys don't get it yet, they're just here to destroy us. Like, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist or freak out, but there's nothing good unless you're making tons of money and that's about it, and you live this carefree lifestyle on an island. You're dealing with some pretty nasty stuff here, and it's not easy to beat all this because you have so much influence coming in. If you live in these other countries, Bali, Mexico, whatever, they don't have so much stimulation coming in where buy this, shopping here, keep up with the Joneses, watch TV, get on the IG. They're starting to get all that stuff, but it's not as prominent as here. People don't even keep their head up. People don't make eye contact here anymore. Whole nother rant. Today is day 20. It took me 17 days. How I did it, I prayed to God every night. I would go to bed, please God, help me, give me the strength I need to proceed and not fall victim or fall to my cravings of sugar, peanut butter, dates. Please help me get through the next couple of days and don't binge on it. Please, if I have it in the house, don't give me the strength to not binge and eat it. So I just keep saying all types of stuff like this, all types of prayers. I ask God not to take away the addiction, but to give me power to beat the addiction or see it for what it is. And then I accept it when it happens, and I use all the 12 steps, and I wrote about it in the Substack, so it's easy to follow in there. As I keep making more videos, I'll get clearer with my topics, and I'll get right to the point. Sorry for the tangent, but I'll get to the point in the videos going forward. But this one was mainly about the sugar and food addiction, and it took 17 days just to get right, of relapsing like every couple of days, every hour. Just, it was brutal, man. Like, I can only imagine, or I can't even imagine, what I used to do. When I show you guys pictures of my before and afters, like, and the food and the stuff I used to do, you wouldn't even believe it. I'm lucky to be alive, to be honest with you. I've had run-ins with cancer twice, pretty much a heart attack, falling on the ground, and like, just nasty stuff, man. Like, it's not to be played with, and that's my rock bottom, and that's why I'm here to send this message, to tell more people and inspire them. Like, don't go there. Don't let that happen. Curb it before it gets that bad. And these kids are too young to be fat the way they are. I'm sorry to say it, but they're too young to be fat the way they are. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. Like, why is this happening? Unacceptable. And then here's a really controversial one. Vegetarians eat all vegetables, very yin food, very feminine. So the men who eat only vegetables and are vegetarian are very thin, calm, peaceful, very soft. The men who are carnivore diets, very yang food, eat all that stuff, are very in their masculine, very aggressive. I'm a man, I lift things, I work out, very aggressive and promote their diet and really adamant about it, and it's healing and, very linear, right? So there's two spectrums. That's why you have to yin and yang and balance the food. So you have just enough feminine with just enough masculine. The two need to dance together. That's a whole nother topic. Now we have a vegan. A vegan is confused. They don't know if they're male or female. I'm just making a wild assumption here. But from what I'm seeing, I would guess that, if you eat all vegetables, you're more in your feminine. A woman is softer. The man might be a little softer. A woman who eats all carnivore might be in her masculine, might be a little firmer. Same thing with the man. Then we have vegans. Vegans are usually confused. I want to say possibly confused about their sexuality, confused about their gender, because they don't know what they're eating. I'm eating a tofurkey. Is this a plant or is this meat? I'm eating these fake chickens and Beyond Meat and Impossible Meat. The body is like, okay, well, what am I eating? Am I eating meat? Am I eating a plant? Am I eating chemical? What am I eating? And that's causing confusion. So in the masculine, feminine, it doesn't really have a place. So that's where maybe trans comes in, pronouns come in, confusion. People don't know what they are because you are what you eat, essentially. So like, I'm a carnivore, I'm super masculine, I'm a man. I highly doubt any trans people are straight carnivores. I highly doubt any trans people are straight vegetarians, but vegans in that weird area are confused about their foods. And that's a whole nother rant, but I just wanted to put it out there. And I would like to do a debate on that and really take a hard look at that, because I believe America is softening people up by promoting this vegan stuff and Impossible Meat and, one or the other, really think about these things, question things. That's enough for today. Thanks.